minutes for 9:10. I'm Howard Bentham. Nice to have you along this morning. If you're trying to stay slim, is there any point in exercising? Well, according to a group of doctors and sports scientists, possibly not. They say when it comes to avoiding piling on the pounds, it's about what you eat. As they put it, you can't outrun a bad diet. They say calorie counting needs to go out the window and claim eating junk food will still increase your chances of picking up problems, type 2 diabetes and the like, later in life, even if you're a regular at the gym and have a healthy BMI. They blame the food industry's PR machine for disseminating misinformation and that people who think exercise is the key to losing weight are wrong. But a Food and Drink Federation spokeswoman says a healthy lifestyle will include both a balanced diet and exercise. Let's talk to one of the people behind this. Dr. Aseem Malhotra is a cardiologist, one of the authors of the article in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Dr. Malhotra, welcome to the programme.
Good morning.
Are you saying then people who want to lose weight shouldn't exercise?
No, I think let's just put it in context. So the first thing is, there's no doubt regular physical activity has many health benefits, in reducing risk of type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. But weight loss is not one of them. And the evidence is very clear from lots of epidemiological data, even what we call randomized studies. Actually, if you're going to lose weight and improve your health overall, and I'll talk a little bit more about this, the key is going to be through cutting out the types and the amounts of calories we're consuming. So in context, when we look at, everyone's obviously, health is a really important issue for not just personally, but even for population in terms of economy, in terms of the NHS. In context, poor diet contributes to more disease than physical inactivity, smoking and alcohol combined. But it is a holistic approach, but we need to obviously concentrate on a certain hierarchy. And one of the things that's very misleading that's come out, and a lot of these perceptions that people have, and I used to have the same perception until I looked at the data myself, is that, it's okay, you can eat what you like as long as you do exercise.
Right.
Well, that's not true.
Well, the logic, as you say, is what you put in, what you burn off, and sometimes you find a balance between the two. But surely by burning more calories through exercise, you lose weight. That's logical, isn't it?
No, so there's lots of reasons behind it. I don't want to go into a lot of detail. I'll give you just one example. So exercise is actually a very powerful appetite stimulant. So, one of the co-authors in this report, Professor Timothy Noakes, probably the most respected and published academic sports and exercise medicine scientist in the world. This guy actually invented goos for marathon running. He wrote a book in the 70s called The Law of Running, which is considered a Bible amongst marathon runners. He has run about 70 marathons in his life himself. And he's a doctor, and he started to develop type 2 diabetes in his late 50s, and he thought, what's going on here? And, the advice he was giving out from some of his research, which was sponsored actually, related to the food and sugar industry, is that he started to develop type 2 diabetes, and he realized he was having a lot of carbs and sugar, looked at other research, it was independent, and realized actually this was harmful. And he's reversed his own advice, and he stopped having sugar and reduced his carbohydrate content. And, this calories in, calories out is also just very, very kind of unhelpful, because actually, obesity isn't so much a disease about calories in versus calories out. It's a disease of fat storage. So the question is, what is driving fat storage? And insulin is that hormone. That's the hormone that drives fat storage. So you consume sugar and refined carbs. It's going to promote fat storage and hunger. So you're going to eat more because there's no little nutritional value and interferes with hormones that control appetite. And it's also going to increase your risk of type 2 diabetes, and there's good data on that. But actually, just think about this. Do you really think that having 160 calories of almonds, nuts, for example, has the same effect on your body as having 160 calories of sugar? It's complete nonsense. It's unscientific. And in fact, that's how the food industry get away with all this calorie counting, low calorie stuff. We have been getting misleading advice, unfortunately, from the food industry. I tell my patients actively, I say, please avoid anything marketed, or be very careful about buying anything marketed as being low fat or even heart healthy, because often it's loaded with excess sugar. And this is a root cause of our obesity epidemic.
So in your view, Dr. Malhotra, the food industry is pushing that message that they are essentially responsible for the situation we've got here. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. Of course, but why should we blame them? They're there in the interest to sell food. They've got a legal responsibility to their shareholders to make a profit. But if they are going to bend the rules a little bit or whatever else, to make money, of course they'll do that. But our role as doctors is to promote your health, get the right messages across, And unless we do this soon, actually our NHS is going to be bankrupt. We're not going to be able to cope with, because in terms of the demand on the NHS, in terms of all the different lifestyle impacts, diet is probably the leading factor driving increasing demand of the NHS. And dietary changes do not take years to have a big effect. In terms of an individual. If you change your diet, even within a very short space of time, and that means having more whole foods, having more oily fish, nuts, etc., and reduce junk food, it will have a big impact on your health in a very short space of time, and the scientific evidence supports that. So this message, these truths, need to get out to the public.
You put it very clearly and very passionately, but in some respects, is this a dangerous message that it could put people off exercise and therefore actually lead to a rise in disease, heart disease, etc.?
No, we're very clear. The first paragraph of the editorial actually talks about the benefits of exercise, but it's actually what the real dangerous message is, the one that's been coming up from the food industry, and that dangerous message has been responsible in driving the obesity epidemic and type 2 diabetes epidemic.
Dr. Aseem Malhotra, thank you. He's a cardiologist, one of the authors of the article in this British Journal of Sports Medicine article.